Hi. So I originally wanted to do a Mr. Beast Lab Swarms video instead of this one, but I realized I just didn't need to make one because a lot of people have already done so.
We have the Mr. Beast Lab Swarms. This is so crap, I'm sorry. You can already see which one it's going to be.
Mr. Beast Lab Swarms is a perfect example of what I will be talking about in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first issue that I will be talking about is the current business model that companies who used to create a toy independently use these days instead. Their new business model consists of selling their toy brands to other companies who would want them for their loyalty campaign. If you don't know what a loyalty campaign is, I'll explain. A loyalty campaign is a way for companies like a supermarket to reward current customers and attract new ones via offering free products like cards or toys for shopping with them, for example. I'm sure you definitely know what I'm talking about. There's definitely has been probably a store near you at some point, especially around the 2010 era. You know, when they just give you like some crappy collectible toy or like stickies, or you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you know. So you might be asking, why is this an issue? And weren't Gogo's doing this back in the day as well? And the answer is yes, Gogo's had plenty of loyalty campaigns, but only the same way that we do today.
This is not a banger. This is not a banger. And I know bangers. I know bangers.
If you didn't know, Gogos are being continued in Brazil, but only via loyalty campaigns. The reason why this is an issue is because the companies who want these loyalty campaigns gets to direct and control pretty much every aspect of the finished product, almost always missing the point of what these toys are supposed to be.
I would recommend having the logo on your boxes so that customers know that your chocolate contains a Gogo inside.
No.
For example, the logo isn't included on the majority of these releases, and none of the new series have original characters, only licensed one, as you can see on screen. The playability is also very affected. Very few releases do mention that you can play the games, and I think that is a core aspect of what Gogos are supposed to be. If it wasn't for the games, I wouldn't be collecting, and I don't think I need to remind you guys that I have over 4,500 figures, so that is definitely a selling point that they could use. But the biggest difference is the amount of figures to collect and the extreme increase in price for a pack that gives you very few figures. Take, for example, the classic Gogo packs containing 4 figures, costing around £0.50. I'm using it in pounds because that's the only data I've been able to find. Then there were 3 Gogos for £1, then there was 2 for £1 as well, and now it's always 1 Gogo per pack, with the latest series costing £1.76. This is the translation because it's in Brazil, as I said, so I had to convert. Notice how the price increase and the figures decrease. You can't tell me that's purely inflation, right? Okay, it is important to note that yes, they are putting a bit more into each figures in terms of like the paint and things like that. To give you a comparison, back in the day, you would be able to get a box containing 30 packs, each with 3 figures, and that would be 30 USD. I'm not even kidding. It's insane how much the price has affected. Again, I would like to believe that, sure, some of it might be inflation, but I don't think it's this much, is what I'm saying. Again, Gogos were always supposed to be a toy that has a lot of variants to collect, where you can have like a huge set of a lot of amount, and it works because it's really cheap.
The figurines became popular due to their affordable price, simple yet appealing design, and collectible nature. I got into Gogos because of its affordability. It was something I could occasionally get when I went to my dad's house at our local Walgreens.
And again, that was something that really worked for them back in the day. That is something that sort of defines Gogos. Even in the earlier ones, there was a lot of variants to collect, and that made it really fun, because that means customers had the choice between, okay, do I want to collect all the characters, which would usually be 80 in a series, so I could go for that as my main goal, and then as I try to do that, I will get so many duplicates, and then I'll look at my duplicates of different colors, and I'll be like, okay, what do I do with those? Do I just discard them? Do I collect them as well? And then you're like, you know what I could do? I could collect what's called a master set. What a master set is when you have every single figure from a series with all its variants. So in the case of series 1 and 2, it's 400. There is also Wanteds and Most Wanted, but I won't go into those in this video. But yeah, the point is, customers have the choice between that. With the latest release, there is 40 figures. All of them come in a glowy variant as well, and they also have one gold figure. And if they're all costing this price, getting a master set for it is probably going to be more expensive than getting a master set for the 400 figures. In the case of Moose Toys, the company behind Trash Bags, Grocery Gang, and recently Lab Swarms with Mr. Beast, the price is insane for just 2 figures. And I don't think the lab tube is really that worth it, considering that it's something that you would only use once for the opening, and even if you decide to use it for storage, you'll still have too many of them. And also, it's very important to note that the price of lab swarms have doubled. Trash packs used to be a pack of 2, $2.50 USD, a pack of 5, $5, a pack of 12, $10, and now the new Mr. Beast figures are $5, $10 and $20 for each packs respectively. So it has doubled in price. Again, I don't think this is purely inflation. I think this is also due to the junk that's included with it. And what I mean by junk is like the lab swarm tube. It's the same thing with Gogos. I forgot to mention in the latest series, they also have this mini booklet. And at first you're like, yep, it's a pretty cool mini booklet, sure. But the issue is it's included in every single pack, so you're paying for it so many times and it's really not needed. There's 8 of them, I believe. You're gonna have so many of this mini booklet and you're not even gonna use it. I forgot to mention that this series is basically the Gogo's equivalent of the Mr. Beast Lab Swarms, because it is in collaboration with a Brazilian YouTuber. Again, if you're his fans, he's got 40 million subscribers. So while I was writing the script of this video, I joined the Trashback Discord server to know more about what collectors think about Lab Swarms. And here is a comment that I think probably summarizes what pretty much everybody said. The designs are so uninspired. The names are extremely awful. The whole gimmick of the toy revolves around the opening. Then after you open the toy, you have an ugly, useless looking figure with a green hand. It feels like Moose Toys doesn't even care anymore.
What made the original Trash Pack so special and so popular and sold so well is because the designs were simple, small, and cute and recognizable. And over the years, as Trash Packs went on and the designs became larger, very ugly looking, over detailed.
I'm part of like the customer, what used to be the target audience. It's more about midlife people because they have the Harry Potter license, they have the Care Bears license, they have the Snoopy license. This wouldn't be an issue if we had an actual series on the side. I don't care that they go into all those different things. I am worried about the future of Gogos. Again, like every time we discover a new series, I remember back when we discovered the cancelled Bio Gogos, we were really pissed at it because of the fact that they looked so different, they looked so weird. They were original characters, but we were still pissed at it because we were like, okay, if Gogos are always going to be like this in the future, that's going to be annoying. You know what's really beautiful about Gogos is that each series kind of has a bit of his own style. And now the new style is basically fully painted, you know, like highly detailed and things like that. The figures, again, cost more. It's a different type of collectible, targeted for a different type of audience. Everybody who currently collects, everybody who hopes to see them return, is not going to have that because the toy that is Gogos today is so different to the point that a lot of people don't consider them Gogos anymore. The company that's behind this is PPI Worldwide. If they decide to make an actual release by themselves or get a distributor and then just make something themselves that they can actually direct every aspect of it and make it actually good and believe in it, that would actually be great for anyone who genuinely loved it back then, you know? So let's get back to the lab swarms. You might be thinking that Mr. Beast is the reason why this product isn't good, but I don't think that's really the reason, and let me tell you why. You see, Moose Toys plan to make these a regular release, so something that isn't related to Mr. Beast, called Beast Labs. But what I suspect happened is Mr. Beast was sort of like looking around, maybe one of his employees, who knows, came across it and they were like, oh, hold on, Beast? Mr. Beast? You know what? Let's try to collab with him. He did not do anything about the design. That is completely Moose Toys. The only thing he did was have his figure be chrome, essentially, be added. That's the only thing he did. Because Moose Toys know that if you have Jimmy's face on the boxes, it's gonna sell so much more than something genuine. I hate the fact that today's children are influenced this much about YouTubers, about content creators, about influencers. I want kids today to want to get a product because they think it's good, instead of what an influencer tells them they should buy. So now we're getting into my messages part of the video, and that is essentially giving a message to these companies. Message to Moose Toys. If Moose Toys is seeing this, the trash bag community would like you to continue trash bags with Series 8 or make a re-release of Series 1. Don't overcomplicate things, just take a look at what was great about trash bags and the creativity behind the designs. If you're really struggling with making new designs, you can always make a design contest, something that Magic Box Int did with Gogos back in the day. My message to PPI Worldwide. The issue is not that you're doing loyalty campaigns. The issue is that you're only doing loyalty campaigns. Gogo's collectors are worried that this is what has become of their beloved brand. I'm not saying the new Gogos are necessarily bad, but I'm just saying they are simply too disconnected to the core idea that captivated an entire generation. They are crazy bones after all. Remember the origins. Remember what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be figures that you can collect and play with them. We want to see original characters that are cheap and have a large amount of variants to collect, like every other series had prior to this. We need to be able to play with them as well. So please make the curve and the back feet professional looking, because yes, I have been a little disappointed at how the back feet looks like, and that to me looks very cheap and unprofessional. I really hate to be that guy, but like I have to say something. I want it to be the best. I want the toy to actually be professional looking. I want what's best for it. I know you have plenty of original characters waiting to be made, and I know a lot of people would want to get their hands on the Bio-Gogos and the Halloween designs, because to be honest, those are actually really cool. Like, this is what we want. You've got them, trust me. There's another concern on my end that I want to talk about, is that I would really like a place where I could get notified about these things, because if most companies you do a loyalty program for, right, if most of them don't even mention that they're Gogos, they could be, for all I know, they could be anywhere in the world. How the frick am I supposed to find out and know about it? I remember the Sonic Gogos, they were out for an entire freaking month, and I only got notified literally a month after. I would like to be able to know, ideally in advance, but I can understand that might not be possible. But if I know in advance, then I can actually let other collectors know, and they could go and buy the product. There's probably some other toy companies that aren't doing what the fans want, and it is sad to think about that it is how it ends, unfortunately. I understand that things change and always ends at some point, but if you collect Gogos or Trash Bag, I know you know there's still a lot of potential for him. We want PPI and Moose to understand what they are selling, to actually care about it. Sometimes it feels like it's going step backwards, and I feel like that's not something that should happen. I have thought of so many ways they could bring them back. both trash bags and Gogos, but mainly Gogos because that's what I collect. I hope that one day I get to influence the future of Gogo's series and ensure that every great aspect is being highlighted in both the marketing and the actual figures, because I see the potential and I know how big it can become. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to share some experiences with these toys, please feel free to do so in the comments. I plan to make more videos similar to this one about Gogos, so if you want to see them, then consider subscribing. And this video did take quite a while to make, so if you want to, let me know what you think about it in the comments, that's fine too. You have free will, So yeah, see ya guys.